real estate sector in Nigeria is growing at a pace that is almost unbelievable, and with it is the total transformation of the urban landscape of cities like Lagos. So today, I'm heading to the Lekki-Ajah axis where most of the real estate boom is happening in Lagos, Nigeria, to understand how it works, especially how the private sector is filling the housing deficit gap, but more importantly, how it serves as a veritable investment mechanism.
Hi, my name is Lani Stevens, and I'm on a journey to unravel the real estate sector. According to the Bureau of Statistics in Nigeria, this is the third largest contributor to Nigeria's economy. So I want to understand what makes it tick. How do people invest and profit? Or maybe lose money?
I have chosen to explore this sector through the eyes of a trio who are relatively new in the business but are transforming the sector from a quality point of view and for investment. I met them on the site of the Ambience and they showed me around, and I'm told it's all already sold out. The Ambience is their first building development, and they are not only doing it big, they're giving it all the quality there is to give.
Apart from the QS that is on site, the PM that is on site, we make sure that our eyes are here. Even we make sure that even while sleeping at home, because we have camera of what is going on on site.
Right.
We are still looking. There was one midnight, I just opened my phone. I saw people on site. I called, what are those guys doing? I said, it's people that came to deliver, to bring materials at early as 3 a.m. So the guy was even, the security was afraid. He said, Oga, how you know say people? I said, don't worry about that. So we make sure that everything that we need to check concerning the building are being checked on a daily basis to make sure that we deliver what we promise.
I am quite amazed by the amount of attention to detail that they put into all the houses here at the Ambience. But what I find even more interesting is a certain kind of brick they have built it with. So I asked Tony, the company CEO, why it's so important for them to go the whole 9 yards.
For us as tributers, quality has always been our watchword in delivering to our clients. If you look at what we've done over time, when we started this development, the Ambience, we make sure that every quality checks are being put in place. There's no site around this environment that are using such blocks that we are using here. It is called the load-bearing block or concrete blocks. It is 100% stone dust, 100% cement. No sand is being added to what we are using to mold our blocks.
I'm told to produce these load-bearing bricks right here on the site. This, according to them, is also to guarantee that they are produced with the highest possible standards.
You can see, this is the stone dust that we use, and these are the cement. And from the mixture, you already, can you please turn on the gen? Please hold on. And you can see from the mixture on ground already, you can see that there's no sand. It's just cement, stone dust, and water.
Absolutely no sand.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you?
If you look at this, the construction and the mold of this block, you can see that they are made from aggregates, like stone dust. So when you talk about concrete block, they're actually from water, aggregates, and cements. And aggregates comprise of the sun dust, which is made from gravel. No mixing of any sand. And majorly the blocks, they are actually, they resist thermal, they're fireproof, then they are made actually for strength, for stability, for rigidity, and at the same time, if you look at the block, there is a way they do it that it makes the building stronger. It's load bearing. Even carrying, you can see that anybody carrying the block, you will see the way they will carry it. Let's go check the block to see the quality. Yeah.
So, Aspire, I'm intrigued by how much attention to detail, but doesn't that worry you from a business point of view, like that's revenue, right? Extra cash that you could have made and kept. You're putting it into quality. And
as I've said earlier, I told you that no company is there that they don't want to make profit. We still need profit. But we should still pay attention to giving quality development to people that want to buy from us. So that, as the name implies, it's real estate, not what you buy today, your money will disappear.
Right.
It's no more real.
Right.
And this is real estate. So
It's got to be real.
Yeah, we
So you keep it real.
Yeah.
I like this, man. Okay, so let's check.
Let's see the block. So you can come and test the block. You see the strengths that the block has. See, it's taking time for me to carry because it's very heavy because they are load-bearing wall blocks. You can see. Just check.
No, don't.
Yeah, just drop it anyhow. Just drop it. Drop it, no problem. Just drop it. Yeah, man.
Watch your feet.
You see the block?
It's
That is
concrete.
strength it is.
It's concrete.
It's concrete, so they're strong.
That's some strong
They have
block right
strength, stability.
there. That's some strong block right there. Wow.
You want to try it again?
No, thank you. Thank you. I'm done.
Look at this.
Wow.
Well compressed for strength, stability, to withstand thermal, fire, proof, and everything.
Hold on a second. So, if there was fire, how will tell me about how?
See, when fire breaks in a house, fire has a lot of penetrating through blocks, wicking block. This is not a block fire will wick.
Okay.
Sometimes when you are building, when there is fire outbreak, there's a will fire goes through the brick, goes through it and break the wall. And fire can happen in other buildings, but this will resist the fire.
Right.
It
So-
is soundproof,
so the house is
fireproof.
protected.
and you can
also-
see the key from here. And when laying the block, there's a key here. You look at it, so it's pieced together. And if you look
This
inside,
line?
yes. If you look at it, you look inside. There's no way a sound can penetrate through it.
Some people call it Lebanese block, and because in that region they used to war. So when they are building with the mindset that we're in a war zone. So, and that is why they have this kind of mode. So if a bullet comes in here, before it penetrates through all these barrier, the bullet will have been weakened. But for a regular hollow block, if it comes in, it goes out easily. So that is the special thing about this block. So we can also call it a bulletproof block.
This is the kind of house I want to live in.
Fireproof, bulletproof.
Wow. Amazing stuff.
A real estate project such as this means jobs for the skilled and unskilled. All of that is good for the economy. I have always found construction of any sort really very intriguing. Yet, what I find far more intriguing is the sheer audacity with which Tributat is transforming the real estate sector with their penchant for quality. But quality surely isn't all that a potential buyer or investor needs to look out for when intending to make a purchase. There's got to be a whole lot more to it. So, I'm heading to meet up with a real estate lawyer who will enlighten me on what T's to be crossed and I's to be dotted. Barrister Olushola Jegede runs Resolution Law Firm and he has worked extensively in the real estate sector. He agrees with me that there's a whole lot more that needs to be done and it all starts with investigation.
So the real estate sector is really sort of booming. I mean, estates are popping up everywhere, especially parts of the Lekki axis of Lagos, but also around the country, Ibadan, Abeokuta, Abuja, Kano. Why do you think this is happening?
The first reason this thing is happening is the population, the growth, and people have to find somewhere to live. And when you're now talking about mega city like Lagos, talking about Abuja, real estate is a very big business in Lagos. So that's why the real estate has been booming. And people have now, maybe, let's say, due to the resilience of our people, at least some of them will be very honest. They are now taking battle to their hand, some developers, filling some gaps, creating roads, creating estates that people can live, providing all the amenities, almost all the amenities.
So to avoid getting yourself into these problems, like anyone can very easily get into with these criminals, are there specific documents? So yeah, a lawyer needs to investigate it, but are there specific documents that must be shown you before you get yourself into this, buying a house, especially?
There are so many documents, and it depends on the nature of the transactions. If you want to buy a property, but let's just focus on the purchase of a property. The first thing you want to ask is what title do you have on this property? You want to ask the seller, what title do you have? And the very popular title in the country today is certificate of occupancy. They want to see a CofO, but CofO is not the only landed document we have. It could be governor consent. It could be just if ordinary deed of assignment. It could be probate. At times, it is even court judgment. Because, mind you, under the law, the court of law has a power, to decide on any issues in Nigeria, be you land or anything, and that judgment will become final at certain levels. If somebody is still holding a certificate of occupancy, and a judge has ruled that this is the owner of the land, it has invalidated that certificate of occupancy. Right. That was the decision of the court in the case of Ogunleye and Oni, where the court has held that there are things we still call in land a radical title to land. That if somebody can show that is the owner of this land with history, with other documents, that it will definitely invalidate a certificate of occupancy. And at times, what we have seen in a place like Lagos is that at times there may be no documents at all. And the fact that they don't have any document doesn't mean that it's invalid. Those people that have property without document, somehow the law still make provisions for them. You talk about people who have been enjoying right of ownership, who have been in possessory right before the enactment of the Land Use Act of 1979.
I suppose that this is why we probably have this issue of Omonile and all of that. I mean,
like you have said, and that's what I brought the concept of Omonile. And what the Omonile simply do is that they claim maybe their forefather or grandfather are the owner of this land. Maybe they came from Ife about 200 years ago to take over this land. And we have so many court judgments. In most cases, what you see over the Lagos, in most cities, that a lot of area have been marked at times that, we are the owner. It's because some people have gone to tell a long story in court to convince the judge that they actually own the land, own this particular land. And perhaps the judge found in their favor that their story is cogent, is direct, is genuine. So that's why the land ownership is important, that it must be investigated. So historical facts, if they are direct, they are cogent, there are ways to prove a title to the land.
I had a long conversation with Barrister Jagade. We talked about a lot of things to consider whether you are buying a house or land. You can check our full conversation out online.
Thanks very much, Barrister Jagade, for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So, now we know that it takes much more than just quality or having the right document to have a real estate transaction sealed and delivered. I'm heading back to my friends at Tribitat. There's this small matter that keeps nagging at me. Actually, it's huge. It's about inflation and purchasing power. I'm curious to know how they manage to still keep it going, keep it profitable, and keep it worthwhile for investors. Meet Marian. She's a financial analyst and consultant.
Hello. Hi. Good morning. How are you doing?
She ensures that the Tribitat team have their eyes on their numbers at all times.
Come in.
Hey, a minute of your time, please.
Yeah, sure. Come.
How's it going there?
Oh,
Doing the
well.
numbers.
We're crunching numbers.
I like crunching. Maybe not numbers, but... So I'm curious, Marian.
Okay.
So real estate is a very important sector to Nigeria's economy. How does it really work? There's lots of billboards, estates are popping up all over Lagos and Abuja and Ibadan and the rest of it. But how does this sector really add to the GDP?
Well, The industry is actually very large and is really fast growing, you know. So this industry, people play in different areas. Some people play as developers, some are realtors, some do property management. There are different areas where people can play. So it's really fast growing. So if you look around, you begin to hear things like smart homes. People are building masonettes. People are building, houses are more modernized. So we have commercial buildings, we have residential buildings. So it really contributes a lot to the GDP in that there's employability. It increases employment because we have a lot of people that can become realtors. We have a lot of people who are into construction. We have a lot of laborers. You know, those are really unskilled. It's the unskilled workforce, right? But it contributes a lot. So it's a quite growing industry.
So I'm wondering, how do you grow an estate like that and make it profitable both for you as a developer and for investors? Especially, I'm looking at the economy, I'm looking at the purchasing power, and I'm wondering, okay, so will this really work?
So there's a housing deficit in Nigeria. So, and not just the housing deficit, but there are a lot of people looking for profitable investment. So when you look at the economy of Nigeria currently, inflation is really rising, and a lot of people can't put their money in certain types of investment. So a lot of people prefer real estate right now, and that's one of the reasons why it's really growing very fast. So there will always be development projects all over the place, and I'm sure you'd have noticed when you were driving here, you'd have been seeing this estate, that estate. So the industry is really growing very fast.
Yeah.
Really growing very fast because that's the best form of investment for a lot of people today.
So I was talking to Genga earlier.
Okay.
And he was talking about how that they started pricing, you know, say the 2-bedroom terrace for like 28 million, and now it's about 48 million in about a year. That sounds really good to me. Like, oh, so if I had invested 28 million a year ago, I'd be worth 48 million now. By just sitting down there and watching my money grow. Yeah. But how does that dynamic really work?
So land is the only asset that appreciates in value. Land is the only asset that appreciates in value. So that's just the way the market is. So whenever you see areas getting developed, right, the prices of those areas the prices of investment in those areas usually increase. So it's inevitable. That's just the way the market works. Property usually always increase in value.
So there's absolutely zero chance that it will depreciate in value?
I don't think so.
It's very nice talking to you. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Let me let you continue
Okay,
your numbers crunching. And I'll talk to you again.
Okay, do enjoy your day.
You too.
It's been an exciting time learning about the world of real estate from my friends at Trinidad. At the Ambience, they have built 47 units comprising of 4 bedrooms fully detached, 3-bedroom terraces, 2-bedroom terraces, and studio apartments. Now they have their eyes set on an even bigger project they call Ambience Heights, a towering high-rise in Lekki Phase 1 that will house 100 units of smart homes. As the day wound down, we hung out at their rooftop bar, and I wanted to know how easy or hard it is to get into the game.
Let's talk about entry points into the industry, which also leads me into like, what was it like in the beginning for you as a developer? And you guys actually even started big, like you didn't start by building one house. You started by building like 20, or how many is in the Ambience?
Ambience here is 47.
You started by building 47.
Now we have 117 over there at Pier Residence. Then another 100 units again at the Ambience Heights.
How tough is it to enter into the game?
Okay, I remember when we started some years ago, we came in as marketing real estate for other developers. And we noticed that some of these people that we are marketing for, we see that we can do more than what these guys are doing. We see that we can do it more than them, because it is what people see that people want to buy from. But if they now see something that is better than that, they will also embrace that. So that is how we came together and say, let us go into development. That's how we come about development, by selling just land first. You know, we don't have all the money, but we say let's do land selling first. We acquire plot of land. We make it habitable for people to buy and build their land there. So as we now see that we've done this and we've done it successfully, before we now came into development, as in building houses, which is what our core now, as for Tributat, our core now is to build world-class development, world-class houses for all our subscribers out there. So that is just how we started. That is the entry point for we as a company.
We wanted to start at with JV, like joint venture with probably if you get a land, if you can get somebody who owns a land, then we partner with them and we develop, we share it equally, then something like that, we share the profit. And along the line, an offer came. Somebody brought the offer for us and we sat down, we strategized and said, okay, how do we achieve this? How can we make this happen? So it was not that easy anyway, but you know, with plan, with God on our side, and because we are goal-oriented people, we work together, we have the same mindset, so we could easily put things together.
So when you tell me that if I invest 20 million, right, that in a year I can make what, 30 million?
Yeah, that is 10 million on your
10
20
million
million.
on my 20 million.
30 million.
I mean, how can you guarantee that somebody will buy it for 30 million?
Looking at it from the off-plan sales angle, you know, when you are introducing a property into the market, when you introduce the property into the market at the introductory price, you know, the value is always cheap or lesser than when it is complete, when it is a finished building. So over time, as construction is ongoing, your property is appreciating. So at completion, you are guaranteed of making up to 10 million or above on that investment that you did. And one major determinant factor when it comes to property appreciation is location. Just like you said, location is very key when you are buying an investment. And looking at this axis that we have, it's not yet saturated. The location is still on the development stage. So you are sure of getting good returns on your investment if you buy property here.
As a company, Tributat Real Estate, we also have our marketing arm, which is the brokerage firm for our company. At our brokerage firm, which is the Billionaire Realtors Group, we've so far have over 60,000 marketers that we are working with that sells this our products. So apart from our own products, they also sell our other partner company that we are bringing to the table. So those people, they earn money from this, they feed their family from this, and it's making the world a better place. So we are right to say this is what we've done, and we are is it proud? I would say we are proud to say that.
No. You should be proud. I think it's enormous.
Yeah.
And I think also that when an investor thinks about the fact that you're creating quality stuff, ambitious and quality stuff, and you have 60,000 workforce, sales force to sell it, then it makes sense for me to, like, you know what, I can put my money here because, I mean, there's guarantee that these guys can deliver.
You know, actually there was a client that came to site a few weeks ago, and he wanted to invest on Landvest, and he said he wants to see the product we are going to be using that money to finance. I said, okay, no problem. We took him to the Ambience, and he saw the product, and he couldn't even believe that, okay, are you sure that this is your project? I told him, yes, this is our project. I said, you guys have done a very massive job here with good quality and something. Are you sure you guys are going to deliver? He said, okay, no problem, we're going to deliver. He said, okay, no problem. Immediately,
He signed up 2 units because of the quality of work that he discovered that we put into place, that we have on ground, and something like that. He said, okay, he's no longer interested in the land best any longer. That he's going to come back for that, but he wants a unit for himself.
It's really nice talking to you guys. It's very enlightening, understanding the basics of the industry and how, people can actually, make money from investing in this. Thanks very much. And I hope to see more of you and, explore this industry more over the next couple of weeks.
We're glad to have you.
We're open.
It has been awesome.
We're glad to have you as well.
Goldmac.
International.
We had a long conversation about the challenges and opportunities in the real estate sector. You can find our full conversation online. It's been a long day, but here's what I'm taking away today. If you're going to invest in property, be sure you've done your due diligence. Investigate the property no matter how juicy it may seem. And if you are buying a house, make sure you are dealing with developers with a track record of quality. There's so much more to learn on this journey. We'll continue next week on Real Transformers. So keep it to date. My name is Lani Stevens. I'll see you then.